For anyone who is a Royal Enfield lover and loves the classic design, well, this motorcycle makes up for it. It has become so much better now. I know, it's time for a MotorBeam comparo. Oh, the jacket is off and it feels good. It was too heavy and the camera guys put us through such situations, but hey, I've got the comparison here and I've got the classic 350 against the Honda CB350 RS. Now to tell you guys, the heat from Honda started quite some months back when the Meteor was the answer, but then now the comparison is pitch perfect because we've got the classic here. So let's find out which one is a better pick between these two. Before we begin, subscribe to MotorBeam and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Now look at these two motorcycles. The Honda is a modern take on the neo-retro design, while the classic follows the neo-retro design in a classic format altogether. The Honda feels like a child who wants to be mature, but that one is already mature and is now much more better. That one has hit the gym and has come back a lot more fit. Boom. This one is already quite fit. The CB350 comes in a set of 4 different variants for the Highness as well as the RS, while the Classic will come in 5 different variants and a total of 11 color options. So you've got more options on the Classic. What both the motorcycles do get is covered forks. On the Classic, it is covered by a plastic unit. Here, you do get fork gaiters. So if you want a modern retro design, well, the Honda is the one for you. Plus you get all around LEDs, which makes the package even better. But if you want something which has a macho design all around and you don't want LEDs to be a bit of a problem, because during nighttime riding, the halogens do work better. And if that is your case, you're better off with the Classic. If you're a fan of spoke wheels too, then you're better off with the Classic. But if you want alloys, well, with different set of variants, you do get alloys for the Classic. On the RS or on the CB350 lineup, you do get alloys as standard. The clutch on the Royal Enfield is a little too heavy to your liking, but the same on the Honda is just too light. So traffic conditions, you will be happy with the Honda, but if you ride for long, the clutch is actually better on the Classic. The gearbox too is slick shifting on both the motorcycles, but you do get a heel toe shifter on the Classic, while that on the Honda is a toe shifter. Even the crew right now has been appreciating the way Classic looks because it gives the World War feel. It has the classic design altogether. Yet, if you want that modern touch, the Honda is here for you. Let's talk about the meter. और एक बुलेट ही जा रही है. You know, it's that famous. On the Royal Enfield, the meter has been updated, and this is the first time around the Classic has got a fuel gauge too. You've got a digital section as well as an analog unit, and the analog only shows the speedometer. The rest of the details like the fuel gauge, the trip meter, odometer and the clock have been put into the digital unit. Plus, on an addition, if you get the chrome variant, you do get navigation on the meter, and that is a tripper unit, and that is what we have seen on the Meteor as well. Let's look at the meter of the Honda. Same is the case here for the Honda, that you've got an analog speedometer and rest of the details are put inside the digital section. But the digital unit is a bit too small but contains a bit more data. You do get live mileage, distance to empty as well as a gear position indicator, which makes this meter a bit more practical. For convenience and charging, you do get a USB slot right over here, which is a little difficult to find and a little difficult to open too. But then on the RS, you don't get a USB charging, but it's there on the Highness. So if you get the Highness, you'll be able to charge. But that one is a Type-C to Type-C unit. Also on the Highness, you do get a Bluetooth connection with the top of the line variant, and that is missing on the RS too. So both the motorcycles right over here, which are the top of the line offerings, don't give you Bluetooth, but there are more features to talk about. If you have seen my review video, I've mentioned that the riding posture of the Classic has become a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more engaging. But it's not too aggressive, it's very comfortable. You can see that the riding posture is upright and my feet are a little front set. The handlebar is closer to the rider, but it's not too close, so you can actually move around on this motorcycle. But for the RS, the scene is a lot different. As I sit on it, the foot pegs are a lot more closer to me and the handlebar is a little lower. So this makes it a little bit more aggressive. But as soon as I sat on this motorcycle, I could feel that the seat comfort on the Classic was just way better. For the pillion too, there is ample amount of space, and that one is a proper comfortable motorcycle, has the best ergonomics. If you want something sporty, it is right over here. Even if you consider the highness, the Classic is a cruiser, this one is a roadster. If you want to go the distance, well, the Classic is now ready to do that without troubling you so much. But the problem is that this one still gets a 13-litre unit. The tank on the Honda is a 15-litre. But the mileage is in the same ballpark of 30 to 35 kilometers per litre, so you will get a slightly better riding range on the Honda. Both the motorcycles do get a hinge on the fuel tank lid, and that what makes me happy quite a lot. Like this. Everyone who was a fan of these kind of motorcycles was because of the exhaust note, and that signature thump is still present on the Royal Enfield. But the thing is that the Classic has now gotten a lot more smoother. However, it isn't as smooth as the Honda is. The problem over here is that the Honda does not have that thump. It is a lot more trebly unit, making this motorcycle feel like an aftermarket exhaust being added to it, not having the actual thump of the Royal Enfield. What I did forget to mention is that the switchgear on the Honda feels a lot more likable. However, there is a problem that on the left side, the horn and the indicator switch have been swapped places, and that what troubles you a lot. There have been times that I've been trying to cut the indicator and I've been pressing the horn quite a lot of times. The same switchgear unit on the Meteor has been continued on the Classic over here, so you get those circular patterns which feels quite nice. Plus the horn is a lot louder on the Royal Enfield. Just like you will take some time to get used to the horn button on the Honda, it's the same case for the Royal Enfield for the pass light switch, because it is on the thumb itself, and where it actually should exist is the I button with which you can change the data on the meter. Both the motorcycles don't get any extra features or any extra electronics apart from ABS, but Honda has made sure that all of its CB350s get traction control, which can be switched off from the meter itself. In both the motorcycles, you do get a 349cc, 348cc single cylinder motor, but on the Royal Enfield, you get internal oil cooling, which makes it cool a little better. However, if I talk about outright performance, the Honda is better in every case, because you get more power, more torque, and a lot better higher revving engine, making it fun all throughout the place. The low end is good, the mid range is strong, and so is the top end too. However, the same case for the Royal Enfield is that it's a mid-range game. Low end is decent, top end is similar. You don't get as much top speed on the Royal Enfield as you can get on the Honda too. The 0 to 100 sprint on the Honda is also a lot quicker. So let's see the V-Box numbers. So the winner with performance is the Honda, but if you want to go the distance, well, the Classic does not feel left behind, because it still has decent amount of performance and it will take you the distance without troubling you so much, except for a few quicker fuel stops. That's about it. If we talk about the riding dynamics and if you're looking for comfort, we have a clear winner here, and that is the Classic. If you are looking for anything sportier, then the answer is towards the CB350. But then the thing is that the Classic is not left behind, because it gets a brand new chassis, which is a twin down tube unit. However, the same on the Honda is a half duplex cradle frame. The Honda is a lot lighter than the Classic, but the straight line stability is better on the Classic, and it can tip into corners decently well, and it will hold the line too. So does the Honda. Hence, the Classic is very agile, but if you want something that's very nimble, that is the Honda over here. Both the handlebars give you good feedback, but the same on the Classic is quite heavy. The handlebar gets a little lighter and quick to maneuver on the Honda. There has also been a massive improvement in terms of brakes on the Classic, because if you remember last time around, I killed a bear, Fazbear. Well, he's fine, he's not gone to the hospital, but the brakes on the Classic are a lot better now. This one stops when you ask for it, and the braking feedback is just brilliant. On our first day of riding, the brakes were not working just as well, but then after riding for almost 400 to 500 kilometers, this one rides much better and stops when you ask for it. But if you ask for that final cut, well, the brakes are actually slightly better on the Honda because of better lever feel. The suspension setup on both the motorcycles is a lot different. It's a lot harder, aiding to better dynamics on the RS, or you can say the Honda. However, it's a lot softer, aiding for comfort on the Classic. The tires on both the motorcycles at the front is similar, a 19-incher unit. However, at the rear, it's an 18-incher on the Classic and a 17-incher with the thickest rubber 150 section we have seen in this category of motorcycles on the RS. If you consider the Highness, you do get an 18-incher, which makes both the Classic and the Highness quite similar. The new Royal Enfield Classic 350 justifies everything that we have asked for. Well, if this motorcycle was launched 2 years back, it would have been very tough for Honda to make a comeback with such a kind of motorcycle, because right now this one is giving Honda the best set of sales. The Honda CB350 RS is a modern take on a retro classic motorcycle. If you want that, go get it. But if you want to stay classic, the winner of this shootout is definitely the Royal Enfield Classic 350. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, do hit the like button. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.